All right, this week's episode is just going to be kind of a review video of what I've been doing off camera. Me and my dad have been working all week trying to get stuff done up. We're trying to do this super fast, so it's hard to film everything. But that being said, I've got a lot of parts still that need to go on the truck before we can actually fire up this new race motor. Just got these carbs completely redone. They look like brand new, so I'm gonna uncover those and put those on and then give you guys a review of what I've done this week. Okay, so this is a fuel cell that I ordered online. All it had was, it didn't even have a vent on it, so we welded in a 1/4-inch NPT plug for this vent. My buddy Jeff Chandler actually did the welding for me because he's really good at TIG aluminum, so he was able to get that done for me. Added this cap because this tank came with a vented cap, so we had to use a solid with the rollover valve. Because obviously if you roll over on the track, they don't want stuff leaking out. This is a bypass hose from my new MagnaFuel fuel pump that's underneath. I'll show you how I mounted that up to the frame. So then we added a -10 AN line for the feeder to the fuel pump down low, and that's actually drilled through the bed and goes right down to the fuel pump. So I'll show that in a minute as well. Then I've got this aluminum battery box. This is solid mounted to the frame as well as the gas tank. All the cables are routed through the bed. There's just a whole lot of wiring under here that we're gonna have to button up this week. And then up front this week, I'm borrowing this electronic water pump from my buddy Glenn. I've had a lot of help from a lot of people around town, friends that I know that are willing to help out, like Jeff with welding the tank. Glenn lending me some parts so that we can get to the track because I'm completely out of money building this. But we're going to make it happen so that we can get down to Dragway 42 next week. It's actually coming up sooner than that. It's almost Sunday. So we're going to be leaving on Thursday for the race. So we've got our work cut out for us this week. And I'll have a little bit better video next week of us actually doing more work to this, getting it fired up and breaking in this new race engine. And before I get this all the way up, I forgot that I went ahead and made the clearance for these 31-inch slicks. I really didn't ever want to cut these bed sides up because they're in really good shape. It broke my heart to have to do it, but I wanted some big slicks on here and that's the price you pay. So I went ahead and made a slice right here. I didn't cut all the way through though, and then I followed this rolled line down, just an imaginary line that I created with a marker. Cut that out, cut a little pie shape out of here, and was able to bend this forward and get me about 1.5 inches of clearance between the tire and the slick. So that should be enough for when this tire expands on the track or doing burnouts, whatever, going full RPM at the end of the track. I should have enough clearance now. But we'll find out. I also made these 6-inch extensions to the end of my headers because I didn't want to have to drill directly into the header. This will provide the same area to mount the evac system for the valve covers up there. So that's going to be covered here next week. I'll show you how I line that up and get these bungs welded into this new 6-inch piece. That way I didn't have to cut into my nice headers. And right here we've got the -10 line coming down with a nice loop right into this MagnaFuel pump that I bought. It is a big old line on there. It looks really nice. I mounted this up right to the frame, so it's nice and solid in there now. We've got the bypass line going up to the center of the tank. That's that top fitting on my tank that I showed you a second ago. This line here I was waiting to cut. This is going to be the sending line or the output from the fuel pump going up to the carburetors, and I wanted to wait to cut this until I got those carburetors. Those came this week, so let's go take a look at them. And these are the same Tunnel Ram 660 Hollies that I was running before, except they're not the same. They were completely botched beforehand by someone else, but the guy who did this, his name is Dale. He is a carb guy here in Michigan. I can add his info into this video if any of you guys are interested in getting any of your Hollies worked on. I don't know if he allows them to be shipped there to work on, whatever, but if you're from Michigan, he's a super friendly guy, and he did great work. So these carbs look like they're absolutely brand new, all brand new springs on them. He did a bunch of work to the fuel blocks. He's got these jetted to 76 square, and that's what we're going to go ahead and run on this truck for the first couple of passes, engine brake in, just to get some color on the plugs and see what we're working with. Love the look of these things. Bam, that looks nice. Let me get the other one. These are beautiful looking carburetors now. It's pretty wild. This Holley Pro Dominator intake that I'm running here sets the carburetors at a little bit of an angle. So the next thing we're going to be dealing with is trying to figure out throttle linkage for this. Hopefully the linkage that I have now I can convert over and make work. But that's just another struggle. That's how all this stuff works. So I've got a big old foot pedal that I want to put in here as well. So hopefully I'll be able to show you guys how I get all that stuff worked up in next week's episode. For now, I'm going to call it a night because it is midnight here in Michigan on a Sunday morning. And I still got to go in, edit this video for all you guys so that you can catch this week's update. And then next week, this thing should be firing and we should be on our way to the rockin' race. So you have something to look forward to for next week, being able to hear this race motor run and watch us get loaded up and head down to Salem, Ohio to Dragway 42. So we'll catch you next week.